Hello and welcome back to Anita Scholar Academy. I am Sakshi and this is lesson 11 of our German A1 course. Today's lesson is one I hope you never urgently need, but if you ever do, you will be very glad you learned it. The parts of the body, how to say what hurts, and how to talk to a doctor or a pharmacist in German. And we learn one last piece of grammar. The imperative. How to tell someone to do something, which is exactly how advice is given in German. Here is today's plan. 6 areas. First, the parts of the body. Second, how to say what hurts. And German gives you two completely different ways to do it. Third, the common illnesses. Fourth, the conversation at the doctor's surgery. Fifth, the imperative, which is today's grammar. And sixth, the pharmacy, which in Germany works rather differently from India. Let us start at the top and work down. Der Körper, the body.
Der Kopf, das Auge, das Ohr, die Nase.
Eyes and ears usually come in pairs, so you will hear the plurals constantly. Die Augen, die Ohren.
Der Mund, der Zahn, der Hals, der Rücken.
Der Hals is worth noting, because it covers both the neck and the throat. So Halsschmerzen means a sore throat, which is one of the words you are most likely to need.
Der Arm, die Hand, der Bauch, das Bein.
And two more at the very bottom. Der Fuß, the foot, with our friend the SZ. And die Fuß, the feet, with an umlaut in the plural. Now, how do you say something hurts? German gives you two ways, and you should know both, because you will hear both. The first and most common way uses the word Schmerzen, meaning pains. You simply glue it onto the body part.
Ich habe Kopfschmerzen.
Kopfschmerzen. Headache. And notice it is always plural, Schmerzen, never one Schmerz.
Ich habe Halsschmerzen. Ich habe Bauchschmerzen.
The second way uses the phrase wehtun, to hurt.
Mein Kopf tut weh.
And there is a third shape, which sounds most natural of all to a German ear, and which uses your dative from lesson 7.
Mir tut der Rücken weh.
Mir, to me. The back does the hurting, and you receive it. Exactly the same backwards logic as gefallen. Das gefällt mir, mir tut der Rücken weh. Once you spot this pattern, a whole family of German expressions opens up. Now the illnesses themselves. These 6 cover almost everything you would want to describe.
Die Erkältung, das Fieber, der Husten.
Erkältung comes from cult, cold. And to say you have one, there is a special phrase. Ich bin erkältet. I am colded. That is how Germans say it.
Ich bin erkältet. Ich habe Fieber. Der Schnupfen, die Grippe, die Allergie.
And one more sentence that is very useful and slightly odd. To say you feel sick or nauseous, Germans say mir ist schlecht. To me is bad. Again, the dative.
Mir ist schlecht. Ich fühle mich nicht gut.
Now the conversation itself. It follows a very predictable shape, so learn these 6 lines and you can manage.
Ich möchte einen Termin.
Einen Termin, masculine and an object, so the accusative from lesson 4. And the doctor's first question will be this one.
Was fehlt Ihnen?
Literally, what is lacking to you? Ihne is the polite dative, from lesson 7 again. It is a beautiful, gentle way to ask, and it is what you will hear the moment you sit down.
Ich fühle mich nicht gut. Ich habe Halsschmerzen.
Then the doctor will want to know how long.
Seit wann haben Sie das? Seit 3 Tagen. Seit gestern.
And note that say takes the dative too, which is why it is dreitagen with an N, and not dreitage. Your dative plural, quietly at work again. And finally, the phrase everyone says as you leave. Learn it, and say it to German friends when they are ill.
Gute Besserung.
Now today's grammar. The imperative. This is how you tell someone to do something, and it is how all advice is given in German. There are 3 forms, one for each way of saying you. Let us start with the formal one, because it is the easiest of all. For sei, take the plain infinitive and put sei after it. That is all.
Trinken Sie viel Tee. Nehmen Sie diese Tabletten.
The verb comes first, exactly like a yes-no question. The only difference is the tone of voice and the exclamation mark. Now the do form, for a friend. Take the stem and add nothing at all. No ending.
Trink viel Tee. Komm her. Geh nach Hause.
Trinken becomes trink. Kommen becomes kom. Gehen becomes geh. Very short, very direct. And for several friends, the ihre form is simply the present tense you already know, with the ihre dropped.
Trinkt viel Tee. Kommt herein.
Now 3 small things that catch people out. And they follow a pattern you already know. First, if the verb changes e to I, that change stays in the imperative.
Du nimmst, nimm. Du liest, lies. Nimm die Tabletten. Lies das Rezept.
But second, and this is the surprising one. If the verb takes an umlaut, like fahre becoming do fast, the umlaut disappears in the imperative.
Du fährst, aber fahr langsam.
So e to I stays, but a to a goes away. Remember it as, the I stays, the umlaut leaves. And third, our old friend Sane, irregular as always.
Sei vorsichtig. Seien Sie vorsichtig.
So here is the imperative doing its real job. These are the sentences a German doctor will actually say to you, so train your ear on them.
Trinken Sie viel Wasser. Bleiben Sie im Bett. Schlafen Sie viel. Nehmen Sie die Tabletten. Gehen Sie zum Arzt.
Zum Arzt. And there is zum from lesson 3, when we asked the way. Arzt is masculine, so ju them becomes zum. That rule has now served you in 3 different lessons. And to tell someone not to do something, simply add nichts at the end.
Rauchen Sie nicht. Arbeiten Sie heute nicht.
Finally, the pharmacy. And there is something here that surprises almost every Indian visitor to Germany. In Germany, you cannot buy medicine in a supermarket. Not even simple painkillers. All medicine, prescription or not, is sold only in an apotheke, and you must ask the pharmacist across the counter. So this sentence really matters.
Haben Sie etwas gegen Kopfschmerzen?
Note the word gegen, meaning against. In German you ask for something against a headache, not for a headache. Etwas gegen Husten, etwas gegen Halsschmerzen.
Die Tablette, die Salbe, der Hustensaft. Das Rezept.
Careful with that one. Recept means a prescription from a doctor, and it also means a cooking recipe. The situation tells you which, and the pharmacist will tell you how to take it.
Dreimal täglich. Zweimal täglich. Vor dem Essen, nach dem Essen.
And vor them, nach them. Both dative, because vor and nach take the dative here. That case keeps returning, lesson after lesson. Now let us put it all together. A visit to the doctor.
Guten Tag. Was fehlt Ihnen? Ich fühle mich nicht gut. Ich habe Halsschmerzen. Seit wann haben Sie das? Seit 3 Tagen. Ich habe auch Fieber. Sie sind erkältet. Trinken Sie viel Tee und bleiben Sie im Bett.
And there is the imperative, twice in one sentence. Trinken sei, bleiben sei. Both giving advice, both with the verb at the front.
Vielen Dank, Frau Doktor. Gute Besserung.
6 lines, and you understood every word. In lesson 1 you could barely say hello. Look how far you have come. Your homework. 4 tasks. 1. Draw a simple outline of a body and label 12 parts in German, with the article on each one. Drawing it yourself makes the words stick far better than reading a list. 2. Write 8 sentences about things that hurt. 4 using schmerzen, and 4 using wehtun. Try the mir touch shape at least twice. 3. Take 10 verbs and write all 3 imperative forms of each. The sei form, the du form and the ihr form. Watch out for the vowel changes. And 4. Practice today's doctor dialogue out loud, playing both roles. If you ever need it for real, you will be very glad you did. And that is lesson 11. You know the parts of the body, you can say what hurts into different ways, you can describe an illness, talk to a doctor, buy medicine, and give advice using the imperative. And I hope you never need this lesson urgently. But if you ever do, come back and watch it once more before your appointment. Next time is our final lesson. Festivals and celebrations, birthdays, gifts, and a full review of everything you have learned across the whole A1 course. If this helped you, please like and subscribe to Anita Scholar Academy. And in the comments, give me one piece of advice using the imperative. Any advice you like.
Gute Besserung und bis bald.